Hello and welcome to another episode of AWS Cloud Bytes News. I'm your host Bhavesh Kumar. Friends, if you like these videos, please subscribe, share, and click the notification bell icon for future updates. Also comment on the topics that you want me to cover. Let's cover what's hot and happening in the AWS world, with reInvent just concluding for this year. Let's look at the first news. The first news is coming from SQS. SQS now has an advanced dead letter queue management experience, which means if you look at this picture, you can see you have an SQS here. This is the source queue, so this is the main queue where the messages are coming. And then if a message is not processed, you actually put it in a dead letter queue where an operation team member will go and take a look at the message, why the message was not processed. And there was some manual work in order to fix this message or in order to reprocess this message. Now, using this new enhanced dead letter queue management experience that the SQS console is providing, you can actually go to the console, look at all the messages that were not processed and are sitting in dead letter queue. You can fix those messages, fix whatever error is there in the message, and then you can put them back to the original queue with a click of a button. You don't have to write any kind of a custom code or maintain that code in order to reprocess the message. So overall reprocessing experience has been enhanced. And now you can utilize whatever is provided within the AWS infrastructure without having any kind of a custom mechanism to reprocess in dead letter queue. Moving on to the next news. The next news is more about a scholarship program that AWS has. And if you see, this scholarship is for AI and ML. The AWS AI and ML Scholarship Program has been launched, and it is as part of all new AWS Deep Racer student service in the Student League. As part of Deep Racer Student, the AWS AI and ML Scholarship Program, in collaboration with Intel and Udacity, is geared towards underserved and underrepresented high school and college students globally who are at least 16-year-old. These are the students who may have faced financial barriers growing up or as part of the underrepresented group, which includes women, people with disability, LGBTQ plus people, people of color. The scholarship qualification will start on March 1st, 2022. These screenshots are coming from a blog of N.Hey Bart on AWS website. The AWS and ML Scholarship Program is launching as part of all new AWS Deep Racer Student Service and Student League. Students in these groups who take part in the Deep Racer Student League are eligible for a chance to win one of the 2,500 annual scholarship from Udacity, an online learning platform, and which is focused towards the technology. So when you go to this when you want to enroll to this Deep Racer student program, once you sign up, you'll be welcomed. You will find that you have like 30 hours of unused training, which can be used for building your experience or learning through these AI ML courses. Basically, you can create models and just participate. And the scholarship starts here. The program over starts here on March 1st, 2022. So stay tuned and enroll if you really like AI and ML programming. Moving on to the next news. The next news is coming from DynamoDB. So there is a new table class that saves around 60% in the cost. As of now, if you look at the picture, there is a DynamoDB standard and then there is a DynamoDB standard infrequent access. There is some class of data that you always have in DynamoDB tables. And currently what people are doing is they are just fetching all that information, pushing it to S3 just to save cost. So what AWS has done has reduced that effort for us. They have introduced this new class, which is basically designed to optimize the cost around data that is not frequently accessed. And you don't have to transfer or do any kind of custom code to just pull out data from your current database to S3 and write APIs in a way to support both of them. in case our data is required from S3, which is infrequent access, sitting in infrequent access class. Now, having this, you will actually save 60% of the cost from the standard. In the DynamoDB standard, whatever the cost is, you will be saving around 60% of it. And this is available in almost all regions except China and AWS Cloud. There is another catch over here saying that you can change the class, the table class of an existing table to standard IA or standard twice every 30 days with no impact on performance and availability. Also, all the features of DynamoDB are available when using standard or standard IA table class. So there is no difference between the features. Availability of features for standard and standard IA. IA is just infrequent access. And if you look at the cost, which is the major selling point here, the DynamoDB standard IA storage pricing is 10 cents per GB, which is 60% less than the DynamoDB standard. But the other part of this puzzle is that the reads and writes, because it is infrequent access, and if you start using it more frequently, you may not want to put that data in this particular class. The reads and writes are 25% higher. Moving on to the next news. The next news is coming from Amazon RDS Custom for SQL Server is GA, generally available. Now, if you look at the options, there are two database management type options. One is Amazon RDS and Amazon RDS Custom. Amazon RDS is fully managed. AWS perform all the patching and maintaining those servers. Amazon RDS Custom allows you additional privileges where you have access to the OS and you can do customizations to the database, OS, and the infrastructure. In October this year, Amazon launched RDS for Oracle, and now they have launched Amazon RDS Custom for SQL Server. You can read through the slide, but essentially what you can do is you can actually run your scripts with additional privileges. You can also download an RDP client, and you can use a remote desktop client to log into your server and do all the changes that are needed based on your custom needs. So it's essentially an elevated access to overall infrastructure of SQL Server that you're going to build on Amazon. You can also use AWS System Manager sessions to start a session with an instance in your account. After the session is started, you can use PowerShell commands. Moving on to the next news. The next news is coming from the Snow family. Now you have offline tape migration using AWS Snowball Edge. So looking at this option, you can see there is an option for import virtual tapes on AWS Storage Gateway. You can create a virtual tape library on Snowball Edge and copy your physical tapes to it. After your tapes are copied in the cloud, you can create a VTL on a storage gateway and use it to access your virtual tapes. Overall import and export started in 2009 in the AWS import and export, which was extended by addition of features such as Snowball. You have Snowmobile, Snow Edge, Snow Cone, and with each new addition, there were additional features to simplify or expedite overall migration process. All these devices were able to operate or were designed in a way that they were able to operate under various constraints. Not only network, it may be location, bandwidth, latency, all those issues were taken care of while designing these devices. And some devices were better suited based on your given constraint, your environment constraint, or your location constraints. Now, this capability that we have in tape migration, now the AWS Snowball Edge device allows you to migrate up to 80 terabytes of data per device, making it suitable for your overall petabyte scale migration efforts. So tapes can be stored in Amazon S3 Glacier, flexible retrieval, or it can be S3 Glacier deep dive archive storages, and can be accessed from on-prem or cloud-based backup and recovery utilities. Moving on to the next news. The next news is coming from AWS Backup. Now, AWS Backup supports Amazon S3. This is in preview right now. So if you can see this one, S3 new and available for S3 buckets with versioning enabled. So the benefits that we are getting over here is AWS Backup is now going to take care of your continuous point-in-time backups along with the periodic backup or object data, object tags, ACLs, and user-defined metadata. The first backup is a full snapshot, and subsequent backups are incremental. If there is a data disruption event, then the backup can be restored using or from a backup vault. You can restore to the same bucket or a new bucket, depending upon your requirement. Backup is also integrated with AWS organizations. So a single policy that you can apply will be available with all your AWS accounts within the organization, and you can automate the backup creation and backup access management. Primary benefits that we are getting out of it is you can configure your backup using a central application like AWS Backup will perform all those things for you. So it's on one place to go to do a backup. Secondly, you can restore backup with a single click of a button. So you can have a point-in-time recovery or restoration to existing or new bucket. And thirdly, on AWS Backup, it will provide you a dashboard, built-in dashboard, where you can track your backups, restore operations that happen on S3. So it's a good thing that is coming. From a management point of view, it will be very easy for operations to take a look. Also, from audit point of view, that was it for this episode. I've been out for some time, but I will be consistent to provide you a weekly update on AWS. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe, like, and press the notification bell icon for future updates. This is your host, Bhavesh Kumar, signing off.